The late afternoon sun cast a warm glow over Maple Street, one of those quiet American neighborhoods where oak trees lined the sidewalks and children's laughter floated in the distance. Gregory Thompson, a wealthy businessman known for his sprawling real estate empire, walked down the sidewalk with his 12-year-old son, Daniel. Gregory was a man who wore his success like a badge, an expensive suit, gold watch, and an air of authority that made people step aside wherever he went. For him, this walk was less about leisure and more about teaching Daniel life lessons. Gregory believed money was power, and he wanted his son to learn early how the world really worked. As they strolled, they came across a man sitting against the red-bricked wall of an old bakery. His wheelchair was battered, his clothes worn, and his face carried the lines of hardship. Beside him lay a scruffy little dog with brown patches of fur and soulful eyes that followed every passerby. "Please," the man said, his voice carrying the exhaustion of 100 sleepless nights. "Spare some change, sir." Gregory slowed, eyeing him with a mixture of disdain and curiosity. He was about to dismiss the man like he did so many others, but something caught his eye. "Wait a minute," Gregory said, pointing down. "Those shoes, you're wearing limited edition Jordans. I've searched every store in New York for those." The man looked down at his sneakers, cracked but carefully cleaned. "Oh, these? They were a gift from a friend a long time ago," he explained softly. Before Gregory could respond, Daniel knelt down to pet the dog. The little animal wagged its tail and licked his hand. "Your dog is really cute," Daniel said, smiling for the first time that day. "What's his name?" "Bill," the man replied, scratching the dog's ear. Gregory glanced at his son, noting the spark in his eyes. "Do you like the dog?" he asked. Daniel nodded. "Yeah, Dad. He's the sweetest." Gregory smirked. "Then let me teach you something about money." He reached into his leather wallet and pulled out a thick wad of cash. Waving it in front of the disabled man, Gregory said, "How much?" "I want your shoes and the dog." The man stiffened, his voice shaking but firm. "Hell no. I lost my wife and son in a hit and run. Bill's all I have left. He's my only family. He's not for sale." Gregory rolled his eyes. "Everything has a price. You just haven't seen the right number yet." He doubled the cash, shoving it closer. $10,000. That's more money than you'll ever see sitting out here. My son wants your dog, and that's what matters." "Dad," Daniel said cautiously, "we can get a different dog. We don't have to take his." The man clutched Bill tightly. "Still no, sir. Money can't buy everything. Some things are priceless." Gregory's face hardened. "What are you even begging for then? Have you ever seen this much money in your miserable life?" His temper flared, and in a rash move, he bent down, grabbed Bill by the collar, and yanked him away. The little dog yelped, confused. The man screamed in protest, his wheelchair rattling as he tried to reach them. "Dad, stop!" Daniel cried, but Gregory ignored him, storming off with the dog and his son. Behind them, the disabled man's desperate shouts echoed through the street, but no one stepped in. That night, Gregory was unusually cheerful. He poured himself a glass of whiskey, watching Daniel play with Bill in their lavish living room. "See, son," he said, swirling the amber liquid. "That's how the world works. If you want something, you pay for it, or take it. Money talks, and everyone else listens." But Daniel wasn't smiling. He stroked Bill gently, noticing the dog's sad eyes, the way he whimpered as though missing his real owner. Daniel thought of the man's face, the pain in his voice when he said Bill was his only family. Sleep didn't come easy for Daniel that night. He tossed and turned, hearing the poor man's words over and over. Money can't buy everything. The next morning, while Gregory was still asleep, Daniel quietly got dressed. Bill followed him, tail wagging, as if sensing what was about to happen. Daniel slipped out of the mansion and walked all the way back to Maple Street. The man was there, slumped in his wheelchair, his eyes tired from a sleepless night. When he saw Daniel walking toward him with Bill, his eyes filled with tears. You brought him back?" the man whispered, his voice breaking. Daniel nodded, placing Bill gently into his arms. The dog immediately licked his owner's face, whining happily. The man hugged the dog tightly, sobbing into his fur. "I'm sorry about my dad," Daniel said softly. "I know we want to be happy, but it isn't right to destroy someone else's life just for our own. Bill belongs with you." The man looked at him, gratitude shining in his weary eyes. "Son, you've done more than you know. Thank you." When Gregory eventually woke and noticed Bill was gone, he confronted Daniel. "Where's the dog?" Daniel stood tall, his voice steady. "I gave him back to his owner." "Dad, money can buy houses, cars, vacations, but it can't buy family, loyalty, or love. You taught me to chase money, but I think kindness is worth more." Gregory froze, astonished at his son's words. For the first time in years, he felt shame wash over him. His son, barely 12, had just shattered the arrogance he had built his entire life upon. He didn't respond immediately, but his silence said it all. Deep down, Gregory knew Daniel was right. In that quiet moment, something shifted. A boy had reminded a rich man of the one truth he had long forgotten. Happiness built on another person's pain is never happiness at all. Drop a heart if you believe Daniel showed true humanity.